welcome to the Dr. Fitz Show. I am your host, Dr. Fitz, and today we are going to golf like a pro with my new friend, Brian King. So we are talking all things golf. Now, before you're like, oh, I don't care about this, hold your horses because we have something for everyone. The young people, parents of young people, we have people like me who are definitely in the need of someone like him. So we're talking all things golf and how this is something that could literally change your life, make you a healthier, happier version of yourself, literally till your last day. So Brian King, thank you for being here with me this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you and I were introduced after I posted on a Facebook group. I'm looking for like-minded business owners that offer services that help people get healthier and happier. And you messaged me and you're like, I don't know if this would be something that you would want to interview, but this is what I do. And I told you, well, my brother is in golf school right now. So I'm actually just interested in interviewing you for that sake. But can you tell my audience a little bit about your history of being a golf pro for over 3 decades?
So I had a fascination with golf in high school, had a lot of success as a player. So a successful high school career took me to college on a scholarship. College took me to get a degree. After college, I decided to pursue golf, turned professional the day after I graduated. And that took me right into the PGA of America. And that as an assistant pro, a general manager of a golf course, ultimately led me to a competitive career searching to try to make the PGA Tour. I was able to play in one PGA Tour event in my lifetime, which was a game changer for me. So after that experience, I was able to get a sponsor, travel, play golf for a living for 3 years, chase my dream, live the life of traveling golf pro, tournament to tournament. Hence I ran out of money and realized I did not want to spend my lifetime doing losing money every week and
right.
being frustrated with the game. And it's a really hard game. So after that, I decided, what do I know best? I know how to play. I don't understand the golf swing. I know how to compete. I want to share that with other people. That was my specialty. That's what I learned over a lifetime of tournaments and more tournaments and being coached and going through the ups and downs of golf, the highs, the lows, the anger, the frustration, all of that has been a part of, I've lived everything that any student of mine has ever come to me and struggled with. So
I love it. And you have about 50 students every year. Is that correct?
So I'm a big junior golf specialist. I take kids and our hashtags coaching champions in golf and life. So making the high school team is a big accomplishment for a lot of young golfers, and it's a goal for a lot of young golfers. So I train them year round at my indoor place and outside at Prairie Landing Golf Club, this is my 20th season there.
Nice.
So they develop, they grow, and that's just a real lane of mine that I've sort of become a specialist in. And we have anywhere from 40 to 50 kids over the course of a year.
I love it. So what I love about golf is that literally this is one of the very few sports that you legit can play in every decade of your life. Is that fair to say?
100%. I had a gentleman, 79 years old, shot his age.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and still playing in their 80s. It's a fantastic way of life for people.
So I will tell you, so I'm 44 years old and I still have yet to hire someone like you, which after meeting you today, I think it might be a sign from God that I need to hire you because, being a doctor, we're supposed to be, play golf on our days off. Right. And that's actually not why I want to learn golf, but I actually bought a whole nice set of golf clubs about 10 years ago. I actually sold them because I was like, okay, this is just not happening. But I knew that it was a sport that would keep me active, keep me outside, because the benefits of being outside, fresh air, sunlight, go far beyond just the benefits of exercise, right? And then the community that golf brings. I mean, we are created for community and we're not meant to just be by ourselves. And golf is something that you do with people that you have something in common with, and typically friends or family, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's an amazing community builder. And the last 3 years since post-COVID, the golf industry has seen phenomenal growth, and people came to golf, came back to golf, started golf, um, realizing uh, how great it is to be outside. Uh, you're around friends. You don't have to be the best golfer to enjoy it.
Good.
It's great. You don't, it's really the groups, leagues, all of those outings. I get a lot of people who I got to play in a golf outing. I'm getting more invitations to play golf outings with my work. My work allows me to do this more. How do I not embarrass myself? How do I go out and, act like I know what I'm doing? And so it's an amazing, the business side of most of my relationships over 30 years, 35 years are all based on golf.
Well, and that's actually legit one of the reasons why I actually probably will invest in lessons with you this year, because I do understand that a lot of business deals are made on the golf course. And I'm athletic, but I have never had a single golf lesson. And the idea of learning at 44 kind of is a little bit intimidating. But can you talk about what you would do differently with a new client like me versus a majority of your clients are young athletes, correct?
Yes. So I teach all ages abilities,
Okay.
where you start.
Okay, good.
A hard game, trust
And
me.
I don't have to have my own clubs, right?
No.
Okay, good,
Golf clubs
good.
we can get those.
Okay.
It's a hard game. People look at it and like, I can just do that. And
Oh, no.
you're hitting a 1.5 inch ball with a 2 inch stick off the ground, trying to make it go towards a 4.5 inch cup 300 yards away. So that's a daunting task. And I think the hardest part is the expectations that people have uh, of the success of golf, right?
Okay.
It's great athletes are not necessarily great golfers. There's a lot,
No.
um, you know,
You're
there's
basically trying to build me up to say, just because you're athletic, Lauren, doesn't mean you're going to be good at this. That's what I'm hearing.
but they're coached. But see, the world today is you can take an athlete and coach them to play golf, right?
Fair.
Golfers are not born.
Right. I'm coachable. I'm
Coachable.
definitely coachable.
Yeah, I'm coachable in other things. I have coaches for my business and other things that I do. So I'm coachable. And I had a golf coach for my whole life. That was my one and only coach who helped me develop and grow and learn. It's a hard, and I think going into it as if it's something like I'm going to learn the piano tomorrow. Well, I can't play Mozart on day one.
No.
I have to have the process of learning all the things that go with that. And I think that's what golf is. It's a slow dripping one vitamin a day, not the whole bottle.
Absolutely.
And really, I think my success with players, no matter what age, is you have a stick. Golf's the longest stick sport outside of hockey and polo, right?
Okay.
So understanding how that stick is used, it's just we're a stick. We have a stick, a ball, and a human, right?
Right.
Sometimes we stigmatize golf as there's so many YouTube videos, there's so many TikTok videos. I know how to do it. I can do it. Bad way to learn, trust me, that it is not easy to self-medicate the game of golf and learn to hit the ball by watching YouTube and TikTok. I can promise you that has caused more chaos, more confusion.
Oh, I bet.
Golfers come. I have watched every YouTube and I still can't get. It's
same way with medicine. I mean, going to Dr. Google, like I think I'm going to put up a sign that says, if you consult with Dr. Google, your fees are going to be 3 times the rate, because it's going to take me a lot longer to undo what Dr. Google has taught you.
Absolutely. I say people, I'm going to have to deprogram you of all of crud.
Yes.
That new golfers, because new golfers are told 3 things: keep your head down, watch the ball, keep your knees bent. All of these things that do more harm than good. Truly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Truly do more harm than good. Golf is a different game. And when I'm able to get somebody in front of me, either online, I do a lot of online, it's coaching.
Okay.
I can get them to understand the golf ball is not moving. The golf ball is not a moving target, and it is there. I demonstrate. I hit golf balls while I'm looking up at whoever. Like I'd be watching you, and I can hit the ball because it's not moving. My hands. It's a hand game, not an eye game.
Right.
Right. We play with our hands. and the ball's not moving. So if our hands are trained to use the device, the stick, the instrument, the tool, I can find the ball whether I'm watching it or not. I think
Right.
that just, some of those things just cause so much stress and tension and anxiety. You take a young golfer, a new golfer, and you say, I'm going to go to the golf course, get in a golf cart and walk along, and I've got people watching me and now I don't know what to do, and they're paralyzed and they don't know what to do. Their head spins. They
Yep.
think what grandpa told them and grandma told them and their friends and their buddies, and they're all,
Yep.
all well-meaning advice, but it's harmful to the game learning. People quit. They give up on it.
Right.
Like everything, like other things, right? Like weight loss,
Weight loss. Yeah.
they give up on
When
it.
they're not getting instant gratification and instant weight loss,
Yeah,
I see that
it's
often.
very similar to any other learning process. It's a motor skill.
Yep.
That is a very big challenge. So, to get the expectations to realize that it takes time. It's not, I just saw it on TV, I'm going to go do that.
Right.
And then just keep getting input, or I watch more, I listen more, I hear all my friends tell me 45 different things. So like you, I get to deprogram them for the first however long it takes to get that crud out of their computer.
So I realize that a large majority of your business are young adolescents. And I have a lot of parents that follow me that have young adolescents. So if their kid has shown any interest in golf, what would be the first step for you to tell those parents, like just to see if this, because I wish that I would have learned how to play golf and piano. Again, I'm glad you used that example. My grandmother taught piano, and it's something that I just quit too quickly in, but she was also a mean teacher. That was probably part of the other reason. May she rest in peace. But those are two things that I really wish, because it's something that I could have done throughout life, no matter what decade I was in, right?
Good or bad, do it good or bad.
Exactly. So what kind of advice do you have for my followers that have young athlete or potential athletes?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, we like kids to play all sports, right? We have a generation of, when I grew up, we kicked, we threw, we ran, we swatted things, we twisted, we did all of these motor activities. And that's what we want. We don't mind baseball kids. It's athletic, hand-eye coordinated activities, whatever it may be. Some kids are going away from the team sports, the contact sports.
Right.
I like golf because I don't like all the team stress. I don't like the travel leagues, and I don't like the weekends and all of the stuff that goes with it.
Right.
And I think depending upon the age, young kids, I have my friends, kids that I coached when they were in high school are now having kids that I'm coaching. That's how long I've been around doing this. But so I need to get my son who's 5 in there. No, you don't. You really just need to go, like, let them smack the ball. Not going to learn anything in the beginning. I start most of my kids that come to me are about on the age of 10 on up.
Okay.
They've done other sports. They've tried baseball. They got hit in the head. They tried, volleyball. They got hit in the head. They tried lacrosse. Somebody got beat up. And so all of those things are, they're not going to be football kids and things like that, where the golf's very solo, cerebral. And even if parents aren't golf parents, maybe they don't play golf.
Right.
They can go to a driving range. They can go to a putting green.
I've been to the Prairie Landing driving range. It's one of the ones that's open to the public and it's free. Great. You just have to pay for your balls so I have swung the golf club a few times there.
And there's nothing the children they learn week to week. I have kids that don't learn one thing one week, they come back the next week, they don't even know. They're so malleable and so coachable at a young age. They just have to have an interest and decide that's what I enjoy. We at Prairie Landing, we have 2 extra holes. We have 18, and then we have 2 extra training holes that golfers can use. So a majority of my time with younger golfers is teaching them the game on the golf course. So where to stand, how to be safe, how to move around the golf course, when it's your turn to hit, what clubs to use, all of those things that
are basic to you.
Basic. I can go to the golf course. I don't have to have a perfect Tiger Woods swing or
Right.
hit the ball the farthest, but I know when it's my turn. I know what's safe. I know how to take care of the golf course. I know some of the rules, where to tee up, where to, what the sand means, what the, the penalties and such, the rules.
Right.
So that's what makes golfers, right? We teach them to the game and then learn to move along with the game. That's, that's sort of the special avenue that I have
Okay.
that creates golfers, not just driving range kids and smacking balls in 3 seconds.
Right.
They want to learn the game and play the game for their lifetime. And that's just what we do.
So now let's talk about the adults, because I believe there's a lot of adults out here that have never even considered learning the game of golf, but I would like to expand their mind and ask them to think outside of the box, because I will tell you, for me, like I said, I am thinking about learning it for basically a business strategy. Also, if you're a business owner, you can write off all of that stuff as business expenses, because you are talking with potential business partner or business interactions on the golf course. So let's say Hawaii has some great golf courses, right?
Beautiful.
If I want to write off my trip to Hawaii, all I have to do is spend 4 hours out of that day, because it has to be, according to the tax law, you have to spend half of your day or more, and a business day is 8 hours. So 4 hours of your day you need to spend doing business.
Mm-hmm.
So golf typically takes about 4 hours or more, right?
4.5 to 5, yeah. 5 hours.
There we go. So truly, because I definitely have a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners that follow me. This is really something that I am looking at investing in so that I can further my business and my business relations and for tax purposes. So tell me how you would approach someone like me differently than the young, more moldable child or young pre-adolescent or adolescent kids that you work with.
Exactly. I can't even, we're going to start a leadership academy with all of the CEOs and people that I have known through the game of golf. It's funny how CEOs, doctors, lawyers, they all seem to pick up my call. And
awesome.
So I think when there's that bond of golf's a bond of people.
Absolutely.
Right? The more people you talk to, the more they golf with other people, the more people they meet. And that is my world. I bring people together.
Right.
And,
right.
It's one person told me it's the best 5-hour interview that I'll ever get, sitting in a cart with somebody, because I can't do that in tennis. I can't do it in pickleball.
No.
Nope. All these things, but golf, I see how people are, their demeanor, their attitude. You learn a lot about people on the golf course. Anger.
I bet. Totally. I can imagine.
I just did a golf outing where 90% of the people in the field violated one rule. They all did the same. They teed up in front of the tee markers. They thought so they knowingly or not knowingly, that's basically a rules violation. But either they know the rule, but that's something as a golfer
you should know.
That's one of the basics. Yep. So it's so for adults, they're short on time. They want it pretty quick.
Yes.
Right. There's a learning curve.
Right.
And
there's the whole winter of Chicago. That's a challenge as well, right?
Not anymore.
Okay.
We're year-round indoors.
Okay. That's good to know.
My indoor facility is close to Prairie Landing, so it's in St. Charles. And
perfect.
I've been teaching in the winter for the past 20 years, 25 years.
Okay. That might be the task that I take on this winter.
We actually I think the stats in my world show indoor golf learning accelerates faster than outdoor golf learning.
Really?
Yeah. You take the ball flight away. The ball is a controller of our success.
Right.
When we take the ball away from the success equation, we can focus on the motor skills and the movements that make the ball do something.
That makes sense.
So with the technology, the indoor stuff, the videos, the flight monitors, the ball trackers, all of that tells us we know more about where the ball goes inside than we do outside.
That makes sense.
Technology allows us to create to quantify everything about the golf club and the ball, where it goes. Now, I've added 3D biomechanics, stick figures, 3D, 2D to 3D measurements. So we can now quantify how much the body moves, where it moves, in what order it moves, how fast it moves. All of that stuff is now quantifiable for a certain time in everybody's learning process. Not for the first lesson for you, for any golfer.
Okay.
It's a progress, a journey of getting to that point. But we do know a lot indoors. And I will tell you that my success in the first session is really a conversation about how to use the tool, the instrument, the stick. And because I found out a long time ago through thousands and thousands of basically interviews on the first time, people don't know how they see the stick, they have the stick, they just don't know how the stick works.
Right.
And it looks simple, looks very commonsensical, it looks very
but it is not easy.
Not easy, no. It's very simple, it's just not easy. It's a very simple game.
Right.
But there's a certain way the stick has to be used to create success that makes people go, YouTube never told me that. TikTok people never told me that.
Saying YouTube and TikTok.
So it's the one thing, if I can teach you how to use the instrument, if I can teach you to use the hammer like a hammer.
That's the foundation.
That's how you then as an athlete can figure out, without me giving you all the verbiage, which is hard, you can then figure out, I have to feel this, I have to do this. Oh, that doesn't feel right, but it works. Okay, so it feels weird. That feels weird. It's a really big deal for us. It doesn't, that's not why so once you get people past that point and they understand how to use the hammer, the light bulb goes off, and now their journey, because it never changes, the physics and geometry doesn't change for you or me, anybody. So once that is understood, I'm more of a mechanic when it comes to the swing. Is to line up so the car goes in this direction, going sideways. So
let's say in theory that I call you up and say, hey, Brian, I want to hire you. What does that look like for me?
Well, depending upon where you want to go.
I mean, I don't want to be a PGA professional. I just want to be able to not look dumb and go out with potential business clients, all that kind of stuff, and not just be terrible, not be the rate limiting factor every time. That's what I want.
Yeah, the invitations will roll in once you now that you're out there and you're going to do, the invitations will roll in. But it's just it's all depends on where people are, what they know, how many sessions do you know? I don't know. It might be 1, it might be 10, it might be 3. Who knows? For everybody's different at where they start in their journey.
So you have a busy business owner like me who probably can only commit to, meeting with you once a week. Is that where you kind of start?
Yeah, absolutely. The first couple sessions are more or less discovery sessions
to see how bad they are,
to see what they know. Right, we got to peel all the layers of the onion off to get rid of the stuff. And zero is even better, because then you don't have any.
Okay, there we go.
Cluttered. Your computer hasn't been cluttered with stuff, and so I've had some really good success with people early on that say, I went to golf tech, not to pick on them, but I didn't learn any of this. Nobody's ever told me that. They've never heard that stuff. So once that process gets, and people go at their own pace. If they're once a week, or they're once every 2 weeks, or they're once a month, then they're great. Whatever it is they want to do. There's a lot of things to touch on to create a game. The swing is not the only part, right? I have people that I hit the ball great, coach. I couldn't get the ball in the hole. I couldn't put it in the hole. I couldn't get it in once I got it on the green. I hit the ball far, but I can't get it into the cup. So some people want to hit the ball. Some people want to make a score. Everybody's so different that, gosh, it's just, there's no two.
Well, I'm glad to know that once a week would be enough for someone that's a busy business owner, and I'm not limited to the winter time, because I thought it was only, when there's good weather outside.
Winter is fantastic. Really is really fan. Then there's no anxiety. You're not going to play in a golf outing. You're not going to go play with friends on, for your first time. It's a peaceful way. It really should be, the mechanics should be learned inside with controlled environment.
Makes sense. And I also want to remind my listeners that even if they're not a business owner and thinking of doing it for the reasons that I'm mainly doing it, I want to remind them that they're non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So what I'm doing right now, I'm I'm constantly walking. I'm constantly counting my steps. Like the more active you are throughout life, the less likelihood of you being that elderly person that's confined to a wheelchair, that quality life is terrible. The more you move, the less likely you will be that person. And golf is the great, I mean, you don't, again, you can do it at any decade of life. You don't have to have the best knees. I have a post ACL injury, so I can't do the pickleball and the tennis because going, cutting a little side, like it hurts my knee. So golf is one of those things that really, if you learn how to do this is something that you can get your steps in, keep you active. And I mean, let's be real. Your older golfers probably don't look their age because they're so active, and they have been for decades, right?
It's a tremendous segment of the golf population. The three fastest, junior golf is up over 400% since the pandemic.
Wow.
Ladies are the next fastest, and seniors are then right after that. So
you probably know my business director at Larimar Med, Suzanne Phillips.
Sounds familiar.
She's a super golfer. She plays in golf tournaments all the time, and she's typically one of the winners of it. But I would love to go. And she said, she's like, I'll teach you anytime, but I don't want to feel pressure because she's like up there because she's been golfing her whole life.
I think like anything, I have friends that are good golfers. Like, I'm going to give up my career and I'm just going to teach golf. It's an art, it's a craft. As any teacher that teaches anything, maybe your grandma wasn't the greatest, teacher, good at the piano, but it's the one thing in life I have patience for. Like, I don't have patience for anything else, but my students, I understand where they're at. Not every good golfer, not to say she's not, but not every good golfer has the
patience to teach,
the skills, the communication. I've worked on my communication for golf for 30 years about how I say things and what they mean and how people take them, literate or not, or so there's a lot of good advice out there. Sometimes it's very, very non-specific, right?
Okay.
It's very, I think I see this, but they don't really, there's a cause and effect for everything.
Right.
You see it in a lot of, I hate to say, a lot of older people helping younger.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Sometimes it causes more time for me to undo those things, like
absolutely.
So I'd like people who come to it with no preconceived notions or no ideas, or
those are your favorite.
They're easy. They move along faster, right? They haven't. So it's a hard game. That's all. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask a question that's more specific for my younger brother, who literally he was in the military for 4 years and had his GI Bill, and did not like the career he was in. And so he decided to use his GI Bill. And as I told you via messenger, he's now in golf college. He's actually going to be graduating here in a couple of months in December. He's in Bluffington, South Carolina. Loves it. What is the best piece of advice for someone like him that is about to become a golf professional like yourself, but a little bit later in life?
It's okay.
It's 41.
It's okay for anybody to start. I've people that retired and they decide. It just depends on what aspect of the golf industry makes his passion, what makes him wake up, right? Like, teaching golfers is what wakes me up for helping people succeed, getting scores. I was a general manager at 24 of a golf course, a big operation. I didn't know anything about it. I just taught myself things. I didn't want to go back to that.
Right.
I was an assistant pro. It just depends on where their passion lies. That's why find that. I found mine, and I never want to look back, and there's no plan B. I burned the boat. So
absolutely.
So, but it takes some time to establish whatever it is you do.
So basically just follow your passion.
I think some people love working in the pro shop. They love the environment. They love running tournaments. They love that environment. Some people love to be, fold shirts. I don't like to fold shirts, and
so nor do I.
I decided that a long time ago, I wanted people to find me. They wanted my service, not
Yeah.
to complain or not to, that wanted something from me to help them. So
Absolutely.
that's what I would say. I don't know what that is for everybody, but there's many avenues in the golf industry, sales jobs and things.
He is very excited about it for sure. He is glad that he had this midlife crisis and decided to leave his job that he was not happy in. And I think like you've done this for 30, how many years?
35.
35.
Yeah.
35 years of doing what you love. That's what I wish for everyone. But unfortunately, a lot of people are not in that situation.
I truly, I do love it. Some days it's a job, some days it's tough.
Course.
It's 100 degrees outside for 8 or 9, 10 hours a day. It's, I get my vitamin D for 6 months a year for sure.
For sure. Have you gotten your vitamin D levels checked? Because at Laura Med, we check everyone's vitamin D levels. Most people, it's terrible here.
I had the skin cancer taken off a couple of years ago, and part of occupational, people are like, oh, must be so nice to be outside. It is nice to be outside, but it's also, it's a challenge.
Luckily, most people like you have the very, very slow growing squamous cell carcinomas, which that sounds like a big scary word, but those are very slow growing cancers, unlike the melanomas. And more times than not, when I have patients like you that are, outdoor all the time, it's typically those really slow growing cancers. So that's why establishing a relationship with a good dermatologist, which I'm sure you probably have a good dermatologist, because if not,
they look for me every year, twice
I
a
bet.
year.
Okay, good. Excellent. Excellent. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. If local people are watching this and they're like, ooh, I want to either hire him for myself or maybe hire you for their young athlete who is trying to make the golf team at school, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
My email is swingbyking@gmail.
Swing by King. That's catchy. I like that.
swingbyking@gmail will get to me. My phone is 630-202-golf 4653.
Okay.
Or Brian King Performance Golf. They can just Google that as well.
I love it. And I'm guessing you're probably not on social media.
I have a little bit.
Okay.
I'm a very high handicap social media person, so it's not I stick to the things that I know, and I'm not very good at that. I'm a bad beginner at that.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, thank you so much for taking your most valuable asset, which is your time, and spending it with me to help educate my population that follows me and is definitely all about figuring out how to live their healthiest and happiest life. And to those of you that are watching this, if this was helpful, make sure that you tag your loved ones, share it on your social media. Because again, the whole point of the Dr. Fitz Show is to highlight local businesses and local like-minded people that offer things that help people become their healthiest and happiest. Because remember, we get one life, we don't get a dress rehearsal. So the quality of life and how abundantly is completely dependent on how you live it. So thank you so much for taking this time. I appreciate you both, or not you both, you and the followers. Yep. And until next time, go live your life, because it is an abundant one. Thank you.